Welcome back to today's Retro Dungeon, and on the desk we have our last ZX81 that we're going to repair in this series. Well, it's not a repair, it's just a new modulator. The modulator that we're going to use on this today is a complete replacement for the can and its innards. This modulator that we're going to be using, or composite mod that we're going to be using today, is suitable with the ULA that produces a back porch. So we're just checking the 5V rail and making sure that that regulator works. The regulator will be staying in even though I've got switching ones. I might switch that out at a later date. But you've clicked on the link so you'll know that the star of the show today is going to be the case. The case itself is my own design. It's as close an approximation to the original case as possible, but slightly different angles to it and so on. We'll get to it soon enough. The funny thing is that I only had PLA to print it with, and the only really suitable colours was a wood grain colour PLA. Now the funny thing is the PLA that I used, it's only wood colour in colour. There's no grain to it, it's just the colour. But funnily enough, it's the same colour used by Commodore, or very close to it, that was used on the Commodore 64. Might be a tiny bit lighter, but it's very, very, very similar. Hence the name of the video, a Commodore ZX81. But we'll get to that soon enough. Just removing the modulator, as I say, to fit the new modulator. This modulator, as I say, is suitable for use with the ULA that produces a back porch. In previous episodes, link at the top there for the playlist, we used a modulator replacement, or composite mod I should say, that only worked with ULAs that didn't produce a back porch. So for this one, I thought we'll use a different composite mod rather than changing the ULA. So we're just taking the modulator can off. Let's say this is the last of the ZX81 repair pile, if you like. And we'll be moving on to some ZX Spectrums. I have quite a few ZX Spectrums. I have about 7. Some in cases, some without. A couple of issue 2s, issue 3s. I don't know if the next series of videos is going to be on all 7, but we'll see. But that's the next series. Let's finish this one off first. You may have noticed that the mat I'm using is different. You got rid of the other mat, which was a bit of a mess. This new one is it's an ESD safe soldering station mat. It's for the floor. So I thought it'd be good enough for the desk. Completely covered the desk. Get rid of my old mod mat, as it were. It was a Gamers Nexus mat. Nothing against the mat itself, but I wrecked it. I'd cut it, I'd paint all over it, and it was just a mess. Plus it was black. go. Just putting the wires onto the modulator. Sorry about the focus in the shot there, but my big head getting in the way. But it's a nice bokeh shot anyway. I actually soldered on 2 wires to this modulator, and only in hindsight I realised that maybe I should have used component legs instead. I actually do that for the video signal. We're just putting in the 5-volt wire. You can just see the black one there. The problem with the black one is that it was a very thin cable and it kept snapping, so I ended up getting rid of it and used a component leg instead. As I say, I should have used component legs for both, but this will be a permanent fixture in this computer, so it should be okay. So please let me know down below, as usual. Anything you want to ask, anything you want to say, just go ahead and do it. This particular series, which is my first proper series, the Commodore 16 was just 3 episodes with the same computer. This has been 5 episodes of different computers, the same type. And it seems to have been pretty well received. The last video didn't do so well, but it seems to have been pretty well received. So let me know if there's anything you want to see, if there's anything you think I should be doing. Like I say, I'm just fitting the component leg at the minute. It's a resistor leg. I should have been using these in the beginning, but you live and you learn. The whole point of doing these things, isn't it? I'm not an expert in any of this. But the more you do it, the better you get. Now it looks like I'm going to fit the resistor in to the board as it is, but I'm just testing that the hole is clear of solder. I'm just going to cut the resistor off. I'm not actually sure what would happen if I left the resistor in. It'd be interesting to see what would have happened, but maybe I'll do that. I've got a couple of other ZX81s that not part of this series that I've got to fix, but maybe I'll mess around with them. We'll see. Now normally when I fix these computers, I fix them to sell them again on eBay, and the only reason why I do that is to generate money to buy other stuff. My collection that I did have, I had to get rid of quite a bit of it for financial reasons. So now I'm having to repair stuff to sell them in order to fund further purchases. But this one, I'm not completely sure I'm going to sell. I might actually keep this one for myself. Now before the case comes up, there's a couple of little things about the case that I need to point out. That it's not finished. the case itself, when it's screwed together, doesn't actually line up properly. So it's still got to go through another iteration or two to be just right, which is one of the reasons why I'm thinking of not selling it. But if anybody's interested in the step files for the case, then just let me know and I'll make them available. Just testing it out now just to make sure that it still works. And there we go. So upcoming now is the start of the show. Here we are. As I said, this was printed in PLA on a Bamboo Lab P1S using the AMS, so the ZX81 on the front is actually printed in red, so that won't wear off like on the normal. You'll notice that there's no feet to this, and that was only because there was issues with the print, the bridging of the areas. They wouldn't clean up very well. So I just thought, get rid of the recesses for the feet, and I can always put feet on it in the corners to help if need be. And I've also actually used different screws. I'm using socket head, hex head screws, M2.5 I think. That's only because I have put in here actual heat set inserts to help with longevity. Now I think the posts on these are too big, too thick, which may be an issue for why it doesn't shut properly. As I say though, if anybody's interested in the step files for this, then I can always make them available. My intention is not to actually sell this for profit, although I might decide, if I get it right, to start selling the cases themselves for anybody who can't print them. This is funny, this little bit, because I actually seem to forget how to attach the keyboard cable. I couldn't quite work it out in my head. I don't know why. But I've done so many of these, you'd think I'd know, but we got there. Now with this case being printed out of PLA, I really should have removed that 5-volt regulator, because the heat that comes through that heatsink might deform the PLA, because PLA is suspect to deformation with heat. So ABS or ASA or even PETG would have been a better option, but as I said, I didn't have the colours that I wanted to use. And I might do further cases in different colours, different types of PLA, and I might showcase them at a later date if anybody's interested in seeing that. As I say, everything seems to fit in quite nicely, but case itself, when it's screwed together, doesn't seem to line up properly in certain areas, so it's not perfect. And I've already done a new iteration with the screw posts where they're actually narrower, to more like the original ZX81. So that might improve. All together, you can see it in its full glory in a sec. There we go. How wonderful! The Commodore ZX81. As you can see, it doesn't quite line up once it's screwed in. Top bit seems to be pulling forward a little bit, but we'll see. Even so, even though it's my own creation, I have to admit, it does look quite good. I posted this on a Discord channel for More Fun Making It YouTube channel, and there was a good couple of reactions on there of how it looked. I have to admit, I do not like Sinclair machines at all, only because of the typing experience on this and the way that this and the Spectrum have these built-in commands, and I always forget how to get to them. I mean, I'm just wondering now, how do I get quote marks up? And I couldn't get my head around it at all. Kept printing tab and then did exactly the same thing again, and then realised that you just press it and it comes up. Not as easy as the likes of the Commodore and so on, where you can just type on it. And again, I don't know why, and it's right in front of me. I mean, I once I realised where the go-to was on this keyboard, and I still couldn't get it right. And eventually I did. That little screen flicker, by the way, I think is something to do with how the ZX81 and the ZX80 both work. That when the CPU processes something, it cuts the video signal because it's processing something to do with the sync something. I don't actually know, I'll be honest. And there we go. It works. The wonderful abomination that is the Commodore ZX81. Would have been funny if I'd have put Commodore instead of Sinclair. And here we are with some glorious shots, and thank you for watching this video, and if you've watched the rest of them, thanks for watching the series. Do all the normal stuff if you want to, and stay tuned for more Sinclair stuff in the future. So thanks for watching, and enjoy this wonderful creation. Commodore ZX81 Cold.